This is Eagle Owl, and today I will be talking about Sean Desai. Look like he will be fired this offseason, and I will go over two defensive coordinators I would like to possibly replace him. Also, Eagles versus Giants. How do I feel about this upcoming game today? But let's get straight into it. All right, so yeah, let's get straight into it. Let's talk about Sean Desai. Look like Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, and the boys are going to fire him, according to reports out there, right? So, according to basically Jeff McClain, or if you want to say Philly Inquirer, it's almost certain defensive coordinator Sean Desai won't return next season. Desai, who was demoted before week 15, lost all authority over third down play calling after the team's week 10 bye, as Nick Sirianni self-scouted. The third down defense regressed from that point. Um, Look, man, it was bound to happen. You get demoted. I'm hearing that it was more of a contract situation why they didn't fire him, or basically he wanted all his money, so he'd rather take the demotion, I should say, instead of just getting fired. He want all his money, get his money. He will be fired, probably find another job. I won't say as a coordinator, but he probably go back to a positional, coach type guy. We will see. Because in my opinion, he wasn't that good in Chicago. A lot of people said it was because of talent. He went to the Seahawks. The things we complaining about today about Sean Desai, a lot of Seahawks fans said he was always like that. So look, Sean Desai wasn't a good hire. He simply wasn't a good hire. He's a good talker for sure. He had me hype, but he wasn't a good hire. And I tried to be fair with him. I'm like, well, a lot of the guys were hurt, this and that. But far as the scheme he was calling, to me, it just wasn't good. That Vic Fangio scheme has to leave Philly. It's not a good scheme. It's not a good scheme at all. Matt Patricia, even though with him, I think he's getting unfairly criticized. Even though I don't like that he's not rushing Hassan Reddick, but how can he install his defense and he start play calling like week 12, week 13? Like, how can he install a whole new defense? He's using Sean Desai defense and trying to, do something with it. Even though Matt Patricia got to get up out of here too. He definitely got to get up out of here. Again, I don't care who defense you got installed. If you got Hassan Reddick in coverage, that's just simply not good. It's not good at all. So I think both of the defensive coordinators should get up out of here. It'll be interesting what we do with the offensive side. And are we going to keep Brian Johnson again or not? Should we give him another shot? We will see. I'm 50-50 on that. It's like, damn if we do, damn if we don't with Brian Johnson. But the defensive coordinators or whoever's calling the defense got to get up out of here. So there's two guys I really like. Two of them. One is obviously Bill Belichick, but that's a long shot. Bill Belichick, older guy, can't push him around. He will install his own defense. That's my fear of the Eagles getting another defensive play caller, because I feel like they control the younger guys. But a guy like Bill Belichick, he's going to call his defense. If he don't get a head coaching job, more than likely Bill Belichick is going to get a head coaching job. But if he don't want to take one, he just want to call the defense, lay back, not have too much responsibility of the whole team, just the defensive side. Got to bring him into Philly. Second guy is that guy in Las Vegas, and Antonio. We got to bring him in. Antonio Pierce. He has to come to Philly because Raiders are cleaning house. They already gave the GM permission to start seeking out other jobs, and they gave the whole coaching staff to start seeking out other jobs. But this is Antonio Pierce's numbers since taking over as interim head coach as far as on the defensive side of the ball. All right, so Pierce, Halloween night promotion, Las Vegas ranked first in the NFL in points per game allowed with 16.3, and defensive touchdown score 4, tied for the fewest penalties committed. So they're a very disciplined team since he took over. Tied 9th in sacks with 25 and tied for 10th in takeaways with 13. So since he took over, he turned that whole thing around. But my thing with him, if he come to the Philadelphia Eagles. I know he was a former Giant, but how we in those dudes, they gotta let him take control. I like his leadership. I like how he talked to the players. I like how they amped up and ready to play for him. I like Antonio Pierce coming to the Philadelphia Eagles if, the Raiders was to let him go. If they were, because you know how sometimes guys get, just like Denard Wilson did us, because Denard Wilson didn't get a shot at being the defensive coordinator. He's like, you know what? I'm going to just go to another team and I'm going to take the position y'all was offering me here because I wanted that defensive coordinator spot. And he could be thinking the same thing. Like, you know what? Y'all not going to give me the head coaching job. Fine. I'm going to go to a team that's talented that I could work with and I'm going to show my worth there. So he's probably going to leave Las Vegas, go to another team, which should be the Philadelphia Eagles. We got the talent. We just need that guy to call the defense. And I think he's the guy. Even, Bill Belichick just sound unrealistic, but I like the Antonio guy. I like Antonio Pierce, man. If he come to Philly, different guy, different energy. He got the Nick Sirianni energy. Plus, he know how to call plays. So I would like him in Philly, in my opinion. As if he won, again, former Giant. Do he want to come to Philly? I mean, it's a job. It's a job. So throw all that to the side. Come to Philly, do your thing. All right, so let's talk about the Eagles versus the Giants. How do I feel about this game? All depends on what's going down in Washington. Cowboys play Washington. This is what the Eagles should do. They got to score watch. First, they can't just sit the starters off the rip. They got to let them play the first quarter, check the score with the Washington and the Cowboys. Play the second quarter. Just keep checking the score. But if Dallas is destroying them, take out the starters and just let the backups play. Even if that happened, I still want to win this game. Have 12 wins over the season. Going to the playoffs with some confidence. You're going to be the 5th seed. Going from the 1st to 2nd, the 3rd to the 5th. It's like the drop off was real for the Philadelphia Eagles. We choked away the end of the season. We definitely did. There's no other way to explain that. It was an epic collapse. After that Bills game, that was it. That was it. Who we beat? The Giants, and then barely beat them. No, even last year I said we had problems closing the season, but when we got into that playoffs, we did get hot because we started the playoffs, had to bye. We played the Giants again, blew them out, blew out the 49ers. We lost a tough one to the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but we got hot in the playoffs, so we can do it again. It's very possible. But this team, the locker room, gotta believe they can do it. Gotta believe they can do it. So my thoughts on the game is still try to win, keep score watching, and if we're up, we gotta take the game serious and beat the Giants. Shoot, backup starters, just beat the Giants. Get ready for the next game. Whoever you gotta play, the Saints, Atlanta Falcons, or even the Saints, Atlanta Falcons, or start the team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whoever you got to play from the NFC South. Do what you got to do. You got to handle your food. Beat these dudes. Maybe it's meaningful. Maybe it's not. But hey, just beat the Giants. I don't know. Jalen Hurts try to have a mistake-free game. Defense, show us something. Show us a little mix-up here and there. Especially the first and second quarter. I want to see some intense, high-intensity football first and second quarter. After that, if the Cowboys are blowing out the Washington, just take them out. Let Marcus Mariota and the guys finish the game. And, get ready for the playoffs. But that's all I got about the game, man. It's nothing to really deep dive into. It's not a meaningful game. All depends on what's going on in Washington. But hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel about the news today? Sean Desai being fired. Should he have been given another opportunity? I say no. I think it ran its course. And yes, it was fast. But Sean Desai is just not the guy. I don't think Matt Patricia is the guy either. Also, the Giants and Eagles game is honestly, I'm telling you, there's really nothing I could talk about that game. You gotta watch what's going on in Washington. What's going on in Washington? We take the game serious. If Washington is getting blown out, sub out and just get ready for the next game. But this is Eagle Al, man. I'm a